and that kind of didn't go over that well. But actually, I wanted to share the talent that I was going to share, and I'm going to do that right now, because I've had dreams about how I could have won this if I did this talent. So first, to start off my speech, I'm going to play Super Mario with my mouth. Okay. It would have been a lot cooler because we would all be in costumes, Super Mario costumes and stuff, but anyways, so I graduated Poudre in 2006. I grew up on Smith Street and grew up there all my life. And if you asked me back then if I'd be a filmmaker living in New York City for the past 7 years, I wouldn't believe you. And so tonight I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got here. Actually starting from this event tonight. I was in the crowd like one of you guys, and I had gotten a scholarship to go to Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, and I was going to study biology. And I remember feeling very anxious to be going to school so far from Fort Collins, and scared to focus on biology because I knew deep down I didn't like it. But I wanted a good paying job, and I wanted to make my parents proud. Jump to a year later, and I'm home for my first year of college. My highest grade in any science course I had taken was a C, and I knew now I definitely didn't want to do biology, but I had no clue what I wanted to do. I took a photography class, which I loved, but I had zero intention on that becoming my focus. And so that summer, I saved my money. I was working as a manager at the city park pool, and I decided that I'd be taking the fall semester off, and I went to visit my mom's side of the family in Sweden. Side note, I was adopted from South Korea when I was 3 months old, and my mom is from Sweden, and my dad's Irish-American from Connecticut. So when I asked them to stand up at the end, you're like, why aren't they Asian? That's why. So I decided to go to Sweden, and I had the intention of doing some science internships with my cousin Sherstin and her husband Marcus, who are both scientists at Lund University, but I decided when I was there not to pursue that. And I ended up taking Swedish lessons, working a bit as a bartender, and I took photos with my $200 PowerShot Canon little camera. And what I soon realized is that I had iMovie on my MacBook, and my Canon could shoot video. And I made little videos, almost like a journal, like little journal entries about my day. And one particular stuck out where I made a video for my Aunt Ganilla baking a pie. And on her birthday, I screened it to the family. And Ganilla loved it, and she had tears in her eyes, and she gave me a hug. And I was like, wow, film can do this? This is freaking amazing. So, cut back to the first day back to Bowdoin that spring semester. It was freezing cold, because in Maine, winters are the worst place ever. And everyone had made solid friend groups the past semester, and I really did not feel like I belonged there. And Bowdoin didn't even have a film major. And so my best friend Alexi was just like, come on, don't get so down. And he invited me to his apartment to hang out, and we walk in, I sit on the couch, he asks if I want a drink, and on his way to the fridge, he passes a boombox and he hits play, and YouTube Beautiful Day blasts on, and 50 people come out through closets and doors holding a sign that says, welcome back, Alex, and they lifted me up, and I thought I was in a Disney movie. And I knew I was going to go do anything to make Bowdoin work. Bowdoin is actually, it's a small school. There's only 1,700 kids, so it's smaller than Poudre. And so I switched my major to cultural anthropology, and instead of writing 30-page essays, I made short documentaries. My dean, Tim Foster, helped me get a grant for a Canon 7D. Back then, it was a really awesome digital SLR that could shoot 1080 HD. And I had a work-study job to make promotional videos for potential Bowdoin freshmen, highlighting how cool Bowdoin was. And so, and at graduation, I shook both the president, Barry Mills, and Dean Foster's hands, and they told me to keep the camera, and follow my dreams. And so from then, I moved straight to New York City, because in LA you have to work as a person who gives coffee, and like it takes all this time to get to a position that I want to get to. And so I was like, let's go to New York City where I could just do what I want to do right from the start. And so I made a website, alexkcolby.com, and put all my college films on it, and then posted it to Craigslist. And then I got a job at a lobster restaurant and it was my senior documentary was a documentary on a lobsterman in Maine, and there was this new lobster shack called Luke's Lobster that had opened, and I needed some way to get money. So I told him that I emailed Luke at Luke's Lobster, because I thought that would be his email. And he responded, and it turned out that the guy I filmed, Bobby, who was the lobsterman in Maine that I filmed, was one of his dad's friends, and who was a lobsterman. And so I got hired full-time there and became a manager and helped him open 2 other stores. But meanwhile, I worked there like 50 hours a week and smelled like fish all the time. And then in the evenings, I would do overnight editing for like Sam Adams and get paid nothing. But it would be like from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. and learned how to edit, and then like filmed everything from like Puerto Rican pop singer music videos to yoga instructional videos for like little toddlers, and anything and everything in between. And some I got paid for, some I didn't, but I knew that like this was my passion. This is what I wanted to do. And so yeah, basically like you don't have to know exactly what you want to do when you go to college. And if you do, that's fantastic, and continue pursuing it. I say take classes that interest you, and if something feels good, lean into it, and then take more classes. And if you find that one thing that makes you tick, give it your all and let nothing and no one stop you. I had hard drives crash with irreplaceable footage, $18,000 of equipment stolen in one go, people telling me it's impossible for someone by themselves to make film in New York City. I've had to eat ramen $1 bagels all month because I couldn't pay rent. And instead of like any of these things stopping me, I took them as lessons and used them as fuel for me to continue following my dream. And this is, I just turned 29, March 1st. This is like a year ago. I made this on my 28th birthday. And I was going to make one on my 29th, but I've just been under too much pressure of other jobs. But some of the things I did this past year, I went on tour with the Chainsmokers. I filmed a lot of their videos. I got hired by the UN to film the first ever teen refugee at the Olympics in Rio, and made a documentary about that. And while I was there, I met the CEO of Nike and then became the official on-the-ground Nike filmmaker for the Olympics, which was really cool. I filmed this thing called The Big Quiet, which is these huge mass meditations. So like thousands of people come together and meditate. And we did one, the last one we did was on the top floor of the World Trade Center, and 1,200 people came, and we shut down the World Trade. It was just crazy. I went to India to film for this Indian fashion brand called Road Resort. And while we were there, we got invited to the Pink Palace of Jaipur, India by the princess. And I got to film everyone like throwing the color holiday Holi, and got to film that. And this past year I was in Cuba. I filmed a dance TV show with a professional dancer from Alvin Ailey Dance Company in New York on Cuban dance. I was there for a month, and that's going to be on Netflix soon. I actually don't know the working title. I'll give that to you later. But yeah, I'm really excited that I get to share my story. I haven't actually shared my story in front of this many people, and also in Fort Collins, so that feels really nice. And I want to thank my parents, Bita and Kevin. They're right there. For adopting me and always believing me, and thank you to Poudre. This education that I got here was just fantastic and really shaped me. And so
I hate to remind you
Go
of your
for it.
age, but this is 27.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, I know, I'm 29.
I know.
Thanks for reminding me. All right, let's see if this works.
Yeah.
You want to turn the lights off down here too? There we go. Can we turn it up? Nice. Yeah, there we go. This year, I learned how to live out loud and discovered who I am more than ever before. I traveled to South Korea for the first time to find my birthmark and connect with my roots. I took a school bus across the country documenting people's dreams and ending at the Special Olympic World Games. I went to Charleston, South Carolina with activist Doraemon Kesson immediately following the racially motivated murders to document what mainstream media wasn't sharing. I went to Burning Man with a group of strangers in a cat helmet made by my friend Max and found my alter ego as Kung Pao Mian. I traveled around the world with my new morning dance party family Daybreaker. I filmed indigenous leaders all over America talking about violence against women in their tribes. I celebrated New Year's in Panama with 100 new friends and spent a week creating deep bonds with 40 people in Costa Rica. 27 was a year of travel, self-discovery, and creative freedom. The advice I want to share is that you don't have to hide the person you want to be underneath the cat helmet. Live life the way you deserve it to be lived, and watch your dreams come true.
This is how we run. It's how we fall. What if we get to choose? What if we both got to lose? What if we run? What if we run? I wanna feel closer. Need to be closer. I wanna feel closer, closer to you. Burn the bridge I made. Wish that I had stayed. What if we get to choose? What if we both got to lose? What if we run? What if we run? I wanna feel closer. Need to be closer. I wanna feel closer, closer to you. I wanna feel.
No.
the sound was a little delayed, but just enjoy the images.